Hi, I'm Nicola, and in today's video, we are going to be chatting about creating navigation menus on your WordPress website. Website navigation can either make or break your user experience. When you have good navigation on a website, it allows your user to quickly and easily navigate around your website and find exactly what they are looking for. It can also increase your conversion rate, and it leads to higher ranking on Google or any other search engine. Now, when thinking about your items on your navigation menu, you want to keep the wording as short and concise as possible. So instead of using something like get in touch with us, use contact us, which is simple, easy to understand. In addition to that, you want to keep your menu items to a limited number of about six or seven items. Overchoice is definitely a thing, and when you have more menu items on your header menu, then people get overwhelmed and they will click away from your website. In addition to this, you want to prioritize your menu items and make sure the most important menu item appears at the beginning of your navigation menu. Now, if you are going over the 6 number of items, then you might want to think about putting lesser important items in the footer menu. So things like your terms and conditions or your privacy policy. And lastly, we will look at navigation areas. So there are 4 different types of navigation areas. You've got your header area, you've got a sidebar, you've got your footer, and lately you might be seeing a new kind of widget area coming into play, or navigation area coming into play, which is the little hamburger icon that you might see in the top right hand corner. It's something new that's popping up, so that's kind of in addition to your header menu. Now, your navigation areas will depend on the theme that you have chosen to go with on your WordPress website. Okay, so let's dive into this tutorial video that's going to show you how to create menus and assign them to navigation areas. But before we go into that tutorial guide, I just want to remind you that if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and be sure to share it with someone who might find it handy, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, whereby I bring you really awesome, simple to follow WordPress tips and tricks. So here I have a fresh, clean installation of WordPress, and I'm going to show you the 2 places where you can edit and amend and create menus in WordPress. So the first place is over here on the left hand side. If you navigate to Appearance, then if you click on Menus, here you can add menus, update your menus, and change your menus around. The other place is if you navigate up here and you visit your website. Then if you come back to your name, you will see a little menus in the drop down, and that will take you back to the same menus area where again you can add, update, amend, etc. To start with, we are going to create our first menu, and now your menu navigation areas will really depend on the theme that you have chosen. And in this case, this instant, I have chosen the standard 2021 theme. So this theme, if you look here, and we will visit the site again, it hasn't been set up, but it does have a main navigation area up at the top, and you can add navigation to the bottom here in these widget areas. So we are going to create our first primary menu and put it up here at the top. So we will come to our menus, and we will give our menu a name. Now, I highly recommend you name your menu according to the area that it's in, so that it's really identifiable and you can quickly come back to it and amend it, especially if you have quite a lot of menus that you are going to be creating. So I'm going to type in primary menu, and then I'm going to click this blue button here in the bottom right and click create menu. Now, the next step is to add items to our menu, and the items that we can add to our menu are over here on the left hand side. So first of all, we've got our pages, then we've got posts, We've got custom links. So custom links would be, for example, I might want to link out to someone else's website or to Facebook or Instagram or something like that. So I can copy the link of that external platform or external link, and I can paste it in here and give it a name. And then we've got categories as well. Now, if I do install WooCommerce, which is an e-commerce plugin, then I will be given more options like linking to products or linking to the shop page or my account page. So you will see additional items down below here. So to note, you do need to create your pages or your posts or your categories before you can add them to your menu. So you'll come into your pages and you'll add your pages. So for example, you'll add your home page, your about page, etc. And you'll create your blog posts. Now with the primary menu, which is going to be at the top in the header, I highly doubt you'll be putting in posts. It's usually static pages that you'll be putting up there, and maybe categories. So I have gone ahead and I have created some sample pages. And just a note that I highly recommend that you keep your primary menu as simple as possible and limit the number of items to no more than 6. Overchoice is definitely a thing, and when there are too many items in your primary menu, then people generally get lost and they click away. To add an item to your primary menu, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this drop-down box of the pages. You're then going to tick the page that you want and you're going to click Add to Menu. And there we go. We can see it has been added to our menu. And if we're just happy with our home page, we simply click Save Menu. Now, I do want to add a few more items, and I can quickly do that by just ticking the ones that I do want and then clicking Add to Menu. Now, if you have created a whole host of pages and you can't find it here, you can always come to this tab that says View All, and that will give you the full list of all the pages that you have created on your WordPress website. Alternatively, you can click Search and you can type in the name, and then that will bring it up pretty quickly, and then you can add it to your primary menu. So I am happy with the pages that are currently on my primary menu. I do want to add a custom link because I want to show you how that works. So I'm going to come here to this drop-down box and I'm going to link out to my Launch with WordPress waitlist. And that is my new course coming in November, so be sure to get on the waitlist. I'm going to paste in that URL. So I copied the URL here, the full URL from that page. I pasted it in here, and I'm going to name that Launch with WordPress. And I'm going to add it to the menu. So I'm happy with the pages that I have on my primary menu, and I'm just going to save that for good measure. However, I don't like the order that my pages are in. And the order that your pages are in is really important. You want to prioritize your menu items. So making sure that whatever you want people to kind of do first, then you put that at the beginning. And generally, obviously the latter at the end. So what's important is definitely my homepage. So that's in the right place. I want to move the About page up to after the homepage, and then Launch with WordPress, then my services, and then my contact page. So if you hover over any of these pages, you'll see like this move icon. So what you do is you just find the page you want to move, you find the move icon, you click on it, and you can drag it up there. So we'll do it again with Launch with WordPress and our services page. So I can either move the contact page down or the services page up, whichever is easiest. And there we go. We now have this in the order that we want it to be in. You can also create submenus. So to create a submenu, all you'll do is click on this and you'll just drag it to the right. And then that About page will become a submenu of the home page. So that doesn't really make sense. So what I'm going to rather do is move the services up here, and I'm going to make Launch with WordPress a sub-menu of my services page. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm happy with how my pages are, and I'm going to save menu. Now, depending on the theme, you will have this section down here, which says display location. And those are the navigation areas that your theme gives to you. So in this instance, this 2021 theme, there are two display locations, and that's the primary menu and the secondary menu. So I'm going to tick this primary menu box, and I'm going to save menu. And we can see the primary menu has been updated at the top here, and I can go and visit my website, and we can see now there is our menu, and we've got a drop-down box for Launch with WordPress. I'm going to click on Launch with WordPress, and now that opens in the same tab, which is not good web practice. So I want to show you how now we can take Launch with WordPress and open that in a new tab. And I'm going to show you some other settings on your menus as well. So coming up here to our website name, we can click on menus here. And if we come up to the top right here, we click on screen options, and we're going to click on link target. And we're going to click on all these here. And I'm going to just go through each one of these. These are all advanced menu properties, and we'll just walk through each one by one. Okay, so let's look at Launch with WordPress. We click on this drop-down box. We now have a couple of more advanced menu items, and the one that I wanted the most for Launch with WordPress is this little box that says Open Link in a New Tab. So just a good web practice. If you are linking out of your website, then you do want that link to open in a new tab. So I'm going to tick this box. So let's look at the other advanced options. You've got your title attribute. Is when you hover over your menu item, then it's going to bring up a little description. So Launch with WordPress, my signature WordPress course. And I'll show you how that works once we save our menu. CSS class is just in terms of your styling of your menu item. So you can specifically target this Launch with WordPress custom link by putting in a class here and then going and styling it. Then your link relationship. So basically that is, how does that link relate to your website? So it could be a whole host of things. It could be your mother's website. It could be anything that relates to your website, or how that link relates to your website. It's not something that I have commonly used, but you may want it to be a no-follow link whereby Google does not start to index it. The last thing we've got here is a description. And this will only just be displayed if your theme supports it. But basically underneath your navigation label, you will have a description. So you can pop in the description there, and then you can click Save Menu. Okay, so let's have a look at the website now, and I will show you once you hover over this. Generally, it will say my signature WordPress course. So that was the little title attribute that came up before, and that's what I put in there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to add your menus to widget areas. So on this specific theme, I know there are widget areas down here at the bottom. So the first thing you want to do is to create your menu. So we have created a primary menu. The next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to create another menu. So we're going to come up here and I'm going to create a new menu, and I'm going to call that the footer menu. And then I'm going to click Create Menu, and I'm going to add our terms and conditions to this, and I'm going to add my privacy policy. Let's put the privacy policy above the terms and conditions, and I'm going to click Save Menu. Then I'm going to come into widgets here on the left-hand side, and that's under Appearance. Okay, so on this theme, we do have a footer, and in that footer, there are 3 different areas where you can add in widgets. So this is very much like the blocks editor, or it is the blocks editor, but it's like on your posts and your pages when you use your blocks editor. So to add a navigation menu, you'll just click add block, and then you'll type in the search box navigation menu. You'll click on that. That will then add the navigation menu, and you can select the footer menu. That's what we want. And then we're going to click update, and then we can have a look at our website, scroll down to the bottom, and there we go. There we have our navigation menu in our footer widget. So if we wanted it, we can move it around. So let's go to widgets again. And let's say, for example, we want to move this around. We can bring it all the way up to the top here. Click update. Let's actually call this policies or something like that. Policies menu. Click update. And let's have a look at our website now. And we can see that in our menu at the bottom. Okay, so that is the process of creating menus on your WordPress website and assigning them to your navigation areas.